I'm Phyllis from the Doll Corner, and welcome to my channel. And welcome any newcomers, new subscribers. And if you're just stopping by, be sure and stay long enough and find out if you enjoy my channel. And if you do, please subscribe. And give me a thumbs up. Anything to make my channel grow. And today I had a request to show how to make a collar, and I really haven't ever done that, so I thought, well, okay, I'll show how I make my collars. Not saying it's the right way to do it at all, but this is the way I do it, and it seems to work out. First of all, I make my bodice up and I join it at the seam, at the shoulders. I join it at the shoulders and I make a lining. And for the back, I usually just, as opposed to having a seam, I just make it double and leave a little bit of overlap, make it a little bit bigger so I have an overlap. And this is white, just basically it's easier to see what I'm doing here on camera. And then I bring it back together like this, have it pressed, and this is where I need my collar to go, leaving a little bit on either side for the overlap. So I take a piece of paper and line my bodice up. And I draw a line around here. I'm not sure if I got that right. No, I didn't. I shifted there. But draw a nice line. And then I want my collar to be about an inch. I got that. It just wasn't making. I have to reach my arms out here a bit, so that's why sometimes I have a little problem. That's my excuse. Anyway, so I'm put my measuring thing at 1.5. So you need a quarter for seam allowance here and a quarter out here. So that makes up so that'll give you an inch. And just keep moving it around. I wouldn't know which line to go there, but we'll guess at it. All the way around to the halfway mark. And then I just take and join those dots up. Or if I wanted a rounded edge, I just do it like that. Then fold it in half and cut it out. And then I end up with a pattern that looks something like this. But you want to take your time at doing that. And then I cut out 2 pieces. Well, it depends on the collar. 2 pieces out and a piece of interfacing. Now I want a very thin interfacing. This is a piece of, it's for stretch fabric, but I'm going to use it because I don't have any other lightweight. My supplies are getting down and I have no place to go and get any. I guess I could order online, and maybe I should be. So then I have my three pieces. I iron my fusible on. I make sure that I have a 1/4 of an inch all the way around to sew so it doesn't add bulk. And then I take, if I want a collar, a lace on it, I gather some lace and pin it. And then I like to take and just run an edge, sew around the edge. So then this, when I put this on, this section, I can line it up and I have a stitch where I know my lace has been sewn, and then I go all the way around. And then I turn it right side out, and this lace will come down like this. Now this is another little collar I've made. It's just a plain one. I could put lace on around the edge here if I wanted to, and just add some, I just stitch it on, maybe add some trim, piece of lace, a piece of ribbon on top of it to add a little more detail. And then I take my bodice that I have took my pattern off of, spread it out like this. I've joined my seams, shoulder seams, for the lining and for the front of it. And then this should fit almost perfect, leaving a little space for the back so they don't overlap at the back. So this is your back seam, but it will, it'll be joined at the back. Then when I get it all lined up like this, I fold this over like this, the lining, line it up right here. My other shoulder, both shoulders. And then I would play around with it to get it right, and then I will sew around there. And that is my collar attached. And then I trim it really close because you don't want a lot of bulk in there. And then when I've got it sewn on, to give it a good press, and then I take my lining. It's a little tricky. You won't be able to get right into the corner. So I do it as far as I can, and I stitch this little seam down to my lining, right in here. And you see how I did that? Just stitch this. And you will see a little mark line of stitching around here. And if you did that in red, you wouldn't. But it's going to be on the inside. And then my collar, give it a press, and that's the way I put it on. And this collar's a little bit stiff, and it looks cute. And I know what I did wrong to make it a little too stiff, but I don't know. It'll be all right, I think. But what I did was I used the wrong netting. I used some clear fuse. It's kind of rattly stuff. And it's got glue on one side and paper on the other. It's just like Heat and Bond, only it's clear. And I put it on the lace. And then I used parchment paper so I didn't get it on my iron, the glue. And then when I had this on, I pulled the paper off the clear fuse and added netting. Now I should have used, this is a pretty stiff netting. I should have used a lighter weight netting, and it would have worked better. But I didn't, and I had it right there, so I don't know why I did. Anyway, it works. It'll work all right. But next time, and you see, you really can't see that there's netting behind that. But I wouldn't want to use it on a child. It's pretty rough. But if you had the finer netting, it probably would be okay. So that's how I make my round collars. Just make sure that this measurement is what you're starting with, and then you know it should work. So please subscribe. Leave me a comment. Thanks for share. Give me a thumbs up. They all help my channel grow. And thanks for watching. Bye now.